Hello, I'm Chad Bacon, and welcome to the first campus news of the 2020 school year. School administrators have moved up next month's planned off day, known as Flex Day, to this Tuesday, November 3rd, Election Day. This was done to allow teachers and eligible students the time to vote in person and to work at the polls. In response to the lack of standardized testing opportunities in California, Harvard Westlake recently opened its campus for students to take the SAT and ACT. In the days leading up to the tests, the campus also functioned as a COVID-19 test site. The COVID test was required of all students who planned to take the tests. Roughly 100 students participated in each of the standardized tests. This year, Harvard Westlake introduced a new upper school class schedule without any students physically able to be in class. The new schedule not only changed the daily arrangement of classes, but also nearly doubled the length of each class, from 45 to 75 minutes. William Moon reports how students are coping with all of these changes.
Harvard Westlake has implemented a new schedule. However, because of the recent pandemic, many students have had differing opinions about the effectiveness of the new schedule. Junior Aiden Cho has struggled with time management because of the new schedule.
Compared to last year when we had the old schedule, we would have to have the homework completed every single day because every day we would have class. But now it's like every other day, so I kind of push my assignment for the next day.
Contrary to Cho, Jason Salamarone has found it easier to organize his new schedule.
The new schedule is going to work out perfectly for me. It's going to give me more time to study, prepare, and do my homework.
Sambolic says there's a benefit of fewer classes in the new schedule.
The fact that we have only 3 or 4 classes a day, it kind of helps you focus your work on certain particular subjects. And but one problem I feel with the new schedule is the classes are just really long.
Cho believes Zoom has negatively affected his classes.
Even though you have more time per class to get lectured for, most teachers don't use it because it's Zoom and it just lets you out either early or the lectures aren't really as effective.
Volek believes some of his classes have been negatively impacted because of the lack of personal communication.
I take band, although our teacher kind of tries to give us as much stuff to do as possible. It's just kind of hard to play your instrument for just an hour and 20 minutes straight.
Even though the new schedule has office hours and different breaks for students to meet with teachers, Cho still finds it difficult to find a common time to meet.
A lot of kids have the same free on the same period, and they all want to schedule a meeting. It's kind of tough. The demand's going to be very high.
Salamarone is thankful for the 15-minute break periods because he thinks it's crucial to have breaks between classes.
It's important to have these 15-minute break periods because they allow us to reset your mind for the next class.
Like many, Volek enjoys late start days.
Having a late start day and that just gives you time to sleep in, and you usually feel more refreshed afterwards.
Harvard Westlake has sent out surveys to faculty and students to look for improvements in the new schedule. For Campus News, I'm William Moon.
One new feature of this new schedule is the community flex time. So far, the school has used this time for various presentations, guest speakers, and art showcases. The most recent featured a political debate between 4 students, 2 labeled as left and 2 as right. One organizer, Senior Prefect Brooke Stanford, says she was impressed with the thoughtfulness and engagement of the conversation. Last year, Harvard Westlake began implementing programs designed to expand the kinds of classes students could take. One, the Directed Studies program, has pioneered an alternative way to teach classes in a low-stress, low-stakes environment. Jack Coleman has the story.
As part of the new Harvard Westlake schedule, the school has implemented a new Directed Studies program. Run by the Cutler Center, these courses occur twice weekly for 45 minutes. Lawrence Klein, the creator of the first Directed Study course, describes how he first came up with his idea.
I was looking for some format to do a one-off seminar kind of on the election. Then when the schedule was first introduced, there were these 2 spaces in the schedule that really didn't have any identification to them.
Head of the upper school, Beth Slattery, says that after Klein proposed his new Directed Studies plan, it was quickly approved. With courses already ranging from the 2020 election to HW Venture, a class that equips students to become problem solvers, Slattery feels that it is a great way to support a wide range of student interests.
We've always had kids struggle with but I just want to take so many things. And so what we realized is with some of these new classes, they weren't intended to have the same level of instruction as honors physics class.
With over 110 students, Klein's directed study focusing on the 2020 presidential election is the largest class at Harvard-Westlake. Although he had to adjust his course to fit the new schedule, Klein says that his biggest challenge has been teaching 115 students.
The true adjustment has come with just the size, as you know, the size of our section. It was more the size of the class than kind of the shrinkage of the time period.
Slattery thinks that there are many benefits to the new directed studies program. These include an increased usage of middle school teachers, higher student participation, and an ability for teachers to test new courses.
I also think it was an opportunity for some faculty to pilot an idea that they had, but letting them try something, and if it really takes off, maybe it evolves into a full year-long class.
Klein adds that he thinks the main purpose of the directed studies courses should be to allow one-time only classes on current events.
I don't want to call it a disposable class, but we should acculturate ourselves that it's okay to have disposable classes. A class that shows up for a year and then it goes away, but then we have something else timely that shows up.
As Harvard-Westlake looks into the future, Klein's 2020 election course will serve as a model for the rapidly expanding directed studies program. Slattery says that the administration looks forward to many opportunities to come. For Campus News, I'm Jack Coleman.
The Directed Studies election class recently hosted journalist and author Jacob Soboroff, Harvard-Westlake class of 2001. Soboroff spoke about his career and experiences as a journalist. Harvard-Westlake has prepared for the return of students to campus. With a well-thought-out plan in place, students are excited but still a bit skeptical about any return to campus. Mikey Schwartz reports.
Harvard-Westlake is going to reopen. When can it happen? What needs to happen for it to happen? And do students want it to happen? Ari Engelberg, head of communications and the leader of Harvard-Westlake's plan to reopen, says that the adjusted case rate, the number of new positive coronavirus cases per day per 100,000 residents in Los Angeles, needs to drop to below 7 for us to go back to in-person learning.
They want the what they call the adjusted daily case rate to be below 7 for us to move from the purple category to the red category where we can start to reopen school.
Engelberg says we could begin to discuss returning to school soon, assuming the decrease in daily cases continues to go down.
If you're really optimistic and you believe that the curve is going to continue to trend down, then we might conceivably only be a few weeks away from having really serious conversations about how we're going to be open.
For junior Jordan Asil, this possible positive return to campus is good news. Asil gives his reasons on why he is excited to go back to school.
To be honest, I'm actually looking forward to going back to school and interacting with my teachers in person and seeing my friends in person.
Some students have voiced worries about what would happen if someone were to test positive for COVID, and while discussing a possible positive case, Engelberg says that Harvard-Westlake will use contact tracing to prevent potential outbreaks.
We would go through the process of reconstructing kind of the timeline minute by minute of where that person was when they were on campus and who they interacted with.
Asil expresses confidence in the plan to reopen and says that the plan makes him feel protected from COVID.
I like the plan they reopened, limiting the amount of students in the classrooms, kids requiring to wear masks and tracking our location. I think that they're all important steps, and I have faith in my classmates to be able to cooperate with the rules.
Although many are ready to return to campus, other students, including junior Jack Vane, are more conflicted. When considering his return to school, Vane, citing a worry of getting his family sick, says that he will use a wait-and-see approach.
I'll probably see how it goes for the first month, and then I'll make my decision.
Junior Oliver Wyman is concerned as well. Wyman says that he is nervous about the social aspect of the planned return to school.
It makes Harvard-Westlake solely focused on education and kind of strips us of the community and really engaging with friends constantly.
Engelberg addresses these concerns, saying that we could be both safe and social at the same time.
It is understood that when students come to campus, whether it's one grade level or eventually more, that it's not just an academic experience. There are free periods, there are times to sit and socialize, but we're going to want to do that in a way that is safe.
Once we are able to return to campus, students will have this new eating spot to enjoy. For Campus News, I am Mikey Schwartz.
After a long break due to COVID-19, Harvard-Westlake athletic teams have been back on campus with limited practices. Players and coaches are finding innovative ways to practice while keeping everyone healthy. Zach Berg has this report.
The football team is back on the field, and junior captain Jason Thompson says everyone is excited to be back.
A lot of guys just want to get on the field and play, be able to be on the field, lace up the cleats, throw the ball around a little bit. It was a big morale boost for everyone.
Junior water polo player Mateo Delalmo says the team is using new methods of practice to ensure safety.
Distance drills where we'll be apart, kind of mimicking what we'd usually do, but like without contact or coming into like close proximity.
Football and water polo athletes are on campus, but practices look very different from a normal year.
We do need to stay separated. And when we throw balls, each player has to have their own ball.
We try and wear masks when we're not in the water as much as possible. We each have our own lane, and if two people are in the same lane, they're on opposite sides of it.
Director of Sports Performance Jeff Krelling says team lifts have transformed in the way they look.
So you have to remain 6 feet during all times, whether we're lifting or practicing. There is no indoor activity, so everything is outside to make sure that we've got as much circulation as possible.
Krelling says athletes are still getting the same level of strength and performance training.
Once you get into the workout, other than the distancing part and other than the fact that we're outside, the strength training and performance training looks quite similar to what it would be in the past. Working on speed, agility, working on strength, and so forth.
Head of Wrestling Junior Amazon says their team has a longer path back onto campus, but upon return they will practice in 3 small groups to limit contact.
Normally in a wrestling season, everyone from your lightweight to your heavyweight is making contact in that room. So we've been able to break practices down so that there's smaller rooms, more attention to the individuals, which again, I think we might even hold on to long term just because it helps us out for getting to the kids and teaching what we need to teach.
All teams at Harvard-Westlake look forward to the day that practices will be completely normal and everyone can be together again. For Campus News, I'm Zach Berg.
And that's the Campus News for Friday, October 30th. I'm Chad Bacon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.